Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to The Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
Righty. It's that Valentine's Day, but we are still doing a radio show today. This is The Changing Stage, and my name is Florentino Buenaventura. I know that because I heard that in the introduction, and we, like always, have a great show for you folks today. First off, I'd like to say thanks to our sponsors, SIR Music Equipment Rental, and we've actually got Will Janes from that company here today. Say hello, Will.
Good morning, gentlemen.
And we, the big one, for us is Pitbull Audio, where they want you to play the music loud because they got the gear to make that happen. So, we're really appreciative of them and the sponsorship, and keeps the program rolling. And always, like, one of my first guests, one of my special guests, one of my great friends. I know he's looking around like he's crazy. Mr. Art Griffith. What's going on, Artie?
Hey, how you doing, Tino?
Good, brother. But we got some other guests here, too.
Yes, sir.
Yes. We've got, I go way back with this gentleman, both of these gentlemen, but Mr. Cedric Singleton. Are you there, sir?
Yes, I am. What's up with you?
What's going on, man? And Joe Archie, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
So we got the big show today. This is awesome. So you folks know, you may not have heard the names, but these people, their work. Well, for one, if you are a hip hop appreciator, if you love some hip hop, you got to know Black Market Records because they've been the cutting edge of what's going on underground for quite some time. Brother Lynch Hung, X-Rated. I mean, the list goes on. And Joe Archie is a producer as well as composer, and he's been doing great things with Dwele and a number of folks. And Art comes to us from he's been a music director. He's moved into this whole game of now being an executive of the label for Black Market Blue. Is that correct, Art?
The three of us.
Yes.
All got our heads together. Decided to make it happen.
Yeah. So that's kind of the introductions, guys. I wanted this segment to start off with a little bit of the history because I go all the way back with you, Cedric, for when you had I think I mentioned that to you earlier, that Fostex 8-track, and you came into my little studio in the house. And by the way, guys, if you've got the volume of the show up, maybe turn it down a little bit because I think we're getting a little feedback. So, so Cedric, man,
yes.
You go way back, 25 years, brother, making just amazing hip hop records. Tell us.
I'll tell you about it. That was a Saturday morning that I came to your house with that 8-track recorder.
Dude, you remember better than me, man. That's great. That's awesome. You were there. James Poe brought you in. He was.
Yeah,
remember that.
that's right.
So you started way back then. I mean, you had some great tracks already. How did this all come about, man? Where did the heart and soul of Black Market start with you, bro?
It started with me just by actually we started as a producer in music business. I was looking for music for some artists that wanted me to represent them, and I actually started producing the tracks for my early artists. And I produced the Homicide album, and it was like one of your first hip-hop records to come out in the city of Sacramento. And from there, I met X-Rated and Brother Lynch the same night. I was host of a local video show, and it all went from there. I'm just a lover of music, and it just so happened that I landed in rap.
That is the case, man. So yeah, you've had. I mean, we've seen some tremendous success by these artists that you kind of helped kick off. Tell us, when did you see that the big break really kind of start happening when you moved from the 8-track Fostex to the Big Dog Studios?
Actually, I did one song on the X-Rated album, the last song on his album, and I did it on that 8-track recorder.
Oh, wow.
And from there, that was the last recording that I had ever recorded on that machine. I guess a year or two later, it got stolen, so that was the end of that.
Yeah, man, it's gotten big, and you've had some ups. You've hit some. Like anybody in the industry has seen some challenges in this business. Tell us, what is right now the biggest obstacles that you're starting to see?
The challenge that I see in the music business really is organization, and it's more of an organizational thing and a talent. As a record company, we can go no farther than our talent, regardless of the skill of the executive, regardless of the machinery behind it. It's a talent-driven industry.
Yeah.
And so we are developing our talent now, but with Black Market Blues, we have the talent. And so our down point in this business has basically been a talent thing, in addition to some factors in the music business that make selling harder. But
yeah,
where we are right now, I'm so happy with the progress that we made over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I agree. You think it's easy to that there's great talent on every chord. I was just talking with Art about this. You think it's, you could find that artist, but there's so many variables, right, Art?
That's right.
What are some of the variables that you've come across?
I think that you find talent, but I don't think that half the time they're not willing to do the work that is needed. You can't just have talent.
Yeah, that's
talent. Hard work beats talent when talent's not willing to do the hard work, right? So it's you can't have one without the other. I don't.
What is it? 10% inspiration, 90%
right? Absolutely.
Perspiration.
Right,
yeah.
right.
So, and I agree. And I think Will was bringing up something from before. You were asking. You had a question that you wanted to ask Cedric.
Yes, Cedric. I was curious as to what qualities do you look for in your rappers besides just great lyric ability? And I think Tino touched, and I think Art just touched on something very important too about being dedicated to your craft and serious about it. But what other qualities do you look for in your rappers that make you believe that you found lightning in a bottle?
Well, one of the main things I try to determine in the artists, I try to assess their attitude, because there's a lot of work from here to where he's getting started to where he wants to be, and a lot of people are not willing to make that sacrifice through the good times and through the bad times, and try to remain positive, focused, and driven on to pursue the goals. So those are the things that I look at most in an artist is I try to evaluate their attitude and their work ethic, because you have talent. There's I met a lot of guys with talent, but nothing will ever happen with their talent because the attitude's not right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So Joe, you there, brother?
Yes, sir. I'm here, man. I'm just.
So you are like producer among producers, brother. I feel blessed to have you back on the show again, man. What do you assess when you're like listening to an artist? Kind of an extension of what Will's saying. When you're listening to whether it be a hip hop artist, whether it be a great talent, in the soul side or R&B, when you look at producing an artist, how do you develop that? The soul of that particular project.
Man, I mean, I always look at if they can grow, because as a producer, you are always focusing on where they can be and where they should be. And it goes back to everything that Art and Seth said, man. If their work ethic is, I look for folks that have an insane work ethic, you know what I'm saying, to where, like, if it takes us 12 hours, they're troopers. And, like, and then, too, just the, basics, man, of, is their ear good? Can they follow, instructions? And I always give them simple tasks first, something small, just to see how their follow through is.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing. I think that's kind of the key point, and I think that really kind of ties into all the people that are involved now. So everyone, Cedric, myself, Art, and Joe, we grew up in Northern California, and everyone kind of knew each other, and it was this tight knit community. We had Derek Allen DOA, we've got Bobby G. I mean, it's just this great group of people. And the one thing I think that was key is exactly what you're saying, is that everyone stayed determined. Like when we had Derek on not too long ago, he talked about how him and Flip went and moved down to L.A. and they lived in their car until they can get a deal. And then when Flip got his first deal, he made sure that Derek was taken care of, and that's kind of a key element to it all. And you guys kind of were independent, and now you've come together on this new project. We're going to talk about it in the second segment, but Art, tell me a little bit about this new project before we kick into the full scope of this.
Right. Well, so Black Market Blue was Cedric's brainchild, actually, and as he stated before, his love for music, just bringing in other genres that could benefit from the machine that he already had in place. So Joe and I were working on a project, and we all just came together, and we're here now.
That's awesome.
Ready to take over the world.
We're going to actually get really deep into that here in this next segment. So, gentlemen, stay tuned. It's this is a great day. Hopefully, all your ladies aren't disappointed that you're spending the afternoon with me here, but I definitely appreciate it. There is that music. We're going to a commercial break. Gentlemen, stay tuned. We're going to talk about Black Market Blue. This is Florentino on the Changing Stage Radio Show, powered by WS Radio Networks, the leader in Internet Talk Radio, and brought to you by SIR and Pitbull Audio. Be right back in a few short minutes.
Thank you for listening to WS Radio. Improve your business and your life with useful information from experts and thought leaders. WS Radio is radio with ROI.
You may have heard me brag about Progressive Medical Center and just how much they've helped me with my health. And Dr. Goli, one thing that you've helped so many people with is migraines.
Unfortunately, there are millions and millions of Americans who are suffering with migraines and headaches, and they're debilitating because it affects the quality of their life, and they cannot function properly. At Progressive, we get to the root cause because we understand that migraines could be caused by nutritional deficiencies, hormonal imbalances, believe it or not, delayed food sensitivities. And once we determine what the real reason is, we put a plan of action together with medication that we get them off slowly, and we put them on an all-natural approach, and the results are amazing.
Incredible. I mean, there's so many people that can say they don't live their lives with migraines anymore thanks to Progressive Medical Center.
And that's what's exciting and rewarding to us as physicians, because we help our patients take control of their health, and that's why they're living well.
Why don't you get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today? Don't live in pain. Don't have migraines anymore. Just go to their website, progressivemedicalcenter.com.
This is your life. Live it well. In the military, things can change in an instant. At Navy Mutual Aid Association, we understand because it's our life too. That's why our dedication to serving the life insurance needs of our military veterans and their families is unrivaled. Navy Mutual offers superior life insurance protection without military service restrictions and limitations. A single focus on providing the peace of mind military families are looking for. That's what we do. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve. Call 800-628-6011 or go to NavyMutual.org.
I have some good news for a change. With the stressful times upon us, having a regular glass of wine has proved in many studies to reduce stress. Want some more stress-relieving tips? VinVillage.com is an exciting new social organization connecting wine lovers around the country with an exclusive local and online wine lifestyle experience. Vin Village members can meet others online and in person, attend wine dinners and tastings, participate in forums, blogs, and wikis, purchase limited and exclusive wines, even create your own wine. You heard me. Create your own wine. And best yet, membership is free. So reduce some of the stress and have some fun. Join now and connect with thousands of other like-minded wine lovers. To learn more, go to vinvillage.com. That's www.vinvillage.com. Vin Village is where wine lovers connect.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, vinvillage.com, where wine lovers connect. Be sure to tune in weekly to Vin Village Radio for exclusive, in-depth interviews with the who's who in wine and food.
Talk to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to the Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
It's the second segment of the Changing Stage radio show powered by WS Radio Networks, the leader in internet talk radio. And we are brought to you by SIR, Music Equipment Rentals, where if you need to get the gear, they're the company to get it to you. They've been around since the 60s, man. That's just crazy. In fact, we got Will James from that company, is also a book writer that's here with us. And then, Pitbull Audio. Oh, man, those guys are amazing over there. They've got incredible gear. Mesa Boogie, which is like a Paul favorite. He's a big Mesa guy. And we've got our folks from Black Market and Black Market Blue. Art Griffith, Joe Archie, Cedric Singleton. Now, you guys, we were just talking in this last segment about how, Black Market got started. That's the hip hop side, right? Well, actually, I should say more the rap side, because hip hop can kind of carry into different genres. Cedric, before we move into Black Market Blue, tell me, who are some of the artists right now that you are promoting and putting out? What are some of the albums that you've released recently?
Yeah, I have a Chief Keef album dropping in the next couple of weeks. It's called Feet Street. I have artists signed directly to Black Market Records. I have Young Roll, Luciano Brigante, Farrell Da Vinci, Hannibal, Friction, and Nickastick. And those are artists that I have currently signed.
Awesome. And how are you promoting those artists right now? I know you got this incredible machine.
We're in the studio right now on most of those artists. The artists that the Chief Keef album, we have a full press game plan on him.
Okay.
He's already developed, but the other artists,
he's already a big name.
They're still in development. It's kind of like they're in college at this point. So.
Oh, gotcha. Mm-hmm. Awesome. And, you guys, with this background in creating just, seminal rap music, that is, really kind of changed the game, you've decided to move into a new direction and expand into the area of R&B, soul, pop. You want to take this machinery that you have, and you've partnered with Mr. Art Griffith, my good friend, as well as Mr. Joe Archie. Joe, tell us about how that came about.
Man, actually, can you hear me?
We can, sir.
Okay. Man, actually, when I say it was literally like overnight, like it was me and Art talked on it was a Thursday night or a Friday, man, and then we linked up with us three were all already working on a few other things, man, but. Literally, just it was an overnight thing. We met, talked about it a little more in depth, man, and it was just it was just a good feeling, like all the way through it, man. Like this could be something amazing, and literally, that's how it happened.
Wow.
It wasn't anything that we were trying to make happen, or we just planned. It just sonically, it happened. We were just on the phone, and then we were in a meeting the next morning, and then it was done.
Amazing. Now, what inspired you, Cedric, to kind of venture out into other musical genres? Because you've been doing rap for 25 years, bro.
I did rap for 25 years, but in that time, there's a sprinkling of a couple other things. I did a thrash metal band out of Las Vegas called 187.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I did a punk band. I did a gospel. I did a jazz, but they were all kind of early when I was still learning the music business.
The
so I ran into a guy from North Carolina for a label that we distributed named Jerry White.
Okay.
And he was an incredible vocal talent years ago. And he approached me a few months ago, and he wanted to do business with me. And so I said, well, what I want to do is I need to create a different lane for what you're doing, because it's so different from people that tend to follow black market records. And that was the genesis of Black Market Blue.
Okay. And then you reached out to Art and Joe, and because you knew these guys were from the hometown that were making it happen and doing stuff. They actually, before all this stuff, I was talking to Art about the movies, because you guys are still rolling the movie stuff. We've talked about that.
Yes.
So, Art, when you got that call, what was going through your mind at that particular point when you're like, hey, we're going to move this direction of actually starting a label?
So what happened was I actually called him first.
Oh, okay.
I'd heard about it and called him, and it was the movie thing that I called him about. And then he said, coincidentally, well, I'm also doing this. Would this be something that you might be able to help out with? And I said, yeah. And I told him that Joe and I had been working on some other things, so I pulled Joe in, and like Joe said, from that point on, and it was real organic, man, and it just took off. We had a phone call and a meeting, and we're sitting here on your radio show.
I know, that was it. It's like,
that was it.
Art said, "Hey man, we're coming down, and hey, we gotta get you all on the radio, man." So,
hey, and if I can butt in real quick,
Please.
man, this is actually something, man, that for a long, we've been waiting for this, man, for years, man, and to have something, man, from our own city. That's done, to an industry standard, man. Because there's tons of indie labels, man. There's tons of guys, that have these businesses and But the difference is, man, we are coming with years of experience in this industry from all ends, man. And it's in our own backyard, man. And it's it's amazing, man, to see, that there's a lot of these hidden gems, man, that are right here.
Yeah.
And when we on the way up here, we were talking about the what's lacking in piggybacking off what Joe and Cedric was saying, that musicality that we were talking about is here. I mean, everybody that's on the label, there's that musicality. These guys all share.
Absolutely.
These guys all study the craft and appreciate it.
So y'all didn't just go to accounting school and figure out you could count some beans and then figure you could get in the music business? No, I think that is special. I think, we had a producer. It's kind of funny. A random guy showed up at the NAMM show and turned out to be a pretty well-known producer. I didn't even know. He was like, hey, what are you guys doing here? And his name was Mike Bennett, and he's British producer. He had some really pretty key points. He worked with Kim Fowley, and he worked with the Specials and stuff. He's like, this is the DIY time now. This is, and he's seen these periods where they've kind of come in and out. But and you guys really have that ethic, that DIY ethic. You're gonna make it happen. You've got the channels to push it out. With that said, what are some of the unique things that you guys think you're bringing to the table to the music business that you feel are game changers?
Well, actually, man, Ced is a very humble, quiet dude, man. But he's a genius, man. He is still selling records, man, from 1995.
Right.
That's awesome.
You see what I'm saying?
A lot of them.
Right. So, as far as the business goes, it's the same rules, man. It's the same language, even though it's a different genre. It's the same language, man. And he has built a formula and a machine that works. There's tons of, like I said before, there's tons of labels, but they're not even selling 5 units. They're not doing 5 downloads.
And we can take that and being able to take that, what Black Market Blue can do is take that and use that same approach. No one's done that in any of the other genres. You know, there's feet on the ground. There's, you know, you remember the Cats from the Bay that were doing 100,000 units from their trunk.
Yeah.
I mean, why can't that still apply to any other genre? It just hadn't, because a lot of genres think that they're above that. But there's no place where we won't go to sell or play.
Yeah,
so
man.
if you got a stage or anything, we'll play there or sell your CD. So
we're also willing to go in the trenches, like, you know what I'm saying, having this experience, you know, having, you know, gold records, platinum, whatever, credits, you know, most people get comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't want to go in the trenches and do work. Like, you know, me and Art always have this saying, man, you will not outwork me. I guarantee that.
Not.
Well, like you said, that ethic of you know, making it happen, whatever it takes to make it happen. You know, as long as you do it above the board, that's all good, man. And Cedric, we've got about 14 seconds here. Give us like one message from Black Market that you want to roll into the commercial break.
I'm just saying this. Since I've been dealing with Art, Joe, I sleep less now. I sleep about 4 hours a night.
Join the crowd, man.
And get up at 7, man, and I don't know what's happening.
that you know what? That's a big thing, man. Having people, you know, having some chiefs to go along with you, and then you know, having the crew there with you. I mean, that makes a difference instead of trying to do it yourself. You know, this is a Changing Stage radio show. It's amazing, the dialogue. We've got a special guest coming on board here in the next segment, the third segment. Thanks, SIR and Pitbull Audio. We'll be right back in a few short moments on the WS Radio Network, the leader in Internet Talk Radio. Stay tuned.
The Penske Automotive Group is one of the premier automotive retailers in the country, and we're proud to serve Southern California with 15 Penske Automotive dealerships. Our dealers are home to some of San Diego's best selection of new and certified pre-owned Acura, Audi, BMW, Honda, Lexus, Mazda, Mercedes-Benz, Mini, Scion, Smart, and Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Plus, we offer some of the most comprehensive parts and service departments in the automotive industry. At Penske Automotive Southern California, our commitment to customer service is second to none. We're never satisfied until you are. Located across San Diego, from Escondido to Mission Valley, no matter where you are in Southern California, a Penske Automotive dealer is never far away. We're never satisfied until you are. The Penske Automotive Group, Southern California. Go to PenskeAutomotive.com.
Has your business been appified? Are you tired of doing marketing that doesn't deliver results? Mobile apps build loyalty and quality retention. Your app from UPG Mobile puts your business on their mind and at their fingertips. UPG Mobile will give you a custom app highlighting how you are unique, targeting your message, and improving your open rates. Appify your business and amplify your presence with your customers at upgmobilemarketinggroup.com.
You've heard me bragging about Progressive Medical Center and how they've helped me feel so much healthier. But one thing, Dr. Agoli, that a lot of people come to you with is just unexplained pain. They just can't get any relief. Why can Progressive Medical Center's Pain Management Center help them?
First of all, we have to acknowledge that pain is for real, and you've got acute pain and chronic pain. Here's the problem. That acute pain turns to chronic, which is long-standing, and no one's getting to the root cause. There's several key diagnostic components that help us get to the root of what's causing this pain. Is it inflammation? Once we do a thorough evaluation to get to the root cause, determine if it's structural or if it's a metabolic issue. And this way, we put an individualized program for pain management involving correcting the spine, using certain injections when necessary, and we get our patients out of pain quicker, and they stay out of pain because we teach them how to live their life well.
Don't let yourself live in pain any longer. Get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today at ProgressiveMedicalCenter.com.
Progressive Medical, this is your life, live it well.
This is Bill Gruber with BizVid Communications, a Southern California video production leader. We've been honored to sponsor, produce, write, and host many of the fine programs on WS Radio over the years. so we understand how important the internet and your website exposure are. As video producers, we know the tricks and secrets to incorporate video to increase your search engine optimization and business success. Visit bizvidcommunications.com to see what we can do for you. BIZVID communications.com.
Talk to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to the Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
All right, this is the third segment of the Changing Stage radio show on Valentine's Day. So all you folks that are listening, happy Valentine's. We are rocking it as we are the internet leader in, WS Radio is the internet leader in talk radio. And thanks again, SIR, folks over there where you can get the gear you need. If you need backline, you need amps, whatever it is, whatever you need, they'll be able to provide it. And then Pitbull Audio, they've got just an amazing array of gear that you can get at the best prices. And, we are now going to be talking about some special folks because, actually, you know what, Art, this is literally... Guys, this is literally the biggest show I've ever done. We've got 5 guests on. Usually it's a couple guests. So, as a way of amount of guests, we're this biggest guest list. So, Art.
Yes.
Black Market Blue has, just started, but you guys already have a few artists. There's a couple of artists that you have there, and then you want to introduce one special artist.
Right. So we have Jerry White from North Carolina, who's an R&B vocalist, incredible talent. We have Yardley Griffin, who's an amazing vocalist from Northern California. And we have, we all call him our little brother, Michael, Big Mike Hart Jr., phenomenal guitar player, man. The real deal.
Now, Big Mike, you there, brother?
Yes, sir. What's up, everybody?
There he is.
Hey, how you doing? Man, I've heard you play. I've seen the snippets on Facebook, and brother, you are an amazing guitar player, man. You guys killed it in your record release party, right?
Yes, sir, man. Yeah, we had an incredible time.
Yeah, you guys sold out like within a matter of just a few minutes, right? You guys it's packed out house.
Yeah, there were 2 shows and they were turning people away. They were the Mike Hart fans went home heartbroken because there wasn't enough room to see him.
And man, it was like super sold out. Like it was a line wrapped around to our green room.
Wow,
like that.
Yeah. I bet, Cedric, I know that made you feel really good.
I was excited, man. I was really excited to see Big Mike. That was my first time seeing him do his thing, and I left there on cloud 9.
That's how it's supposed to be, right, guys?
Yeah, it was a great night.
Absolutely.
So, Big Mike, man, tell us, you are, you're like this, young 20-something prodigy that plays guitar. Where did that all come from? How did you get started in doing music?
Man, I come from a musical family on both sides. My father was a DJ, and on my mother's side, all of my uncles and grandfathers, they all sang in gospel and quartet groups, and then all of my uncles grew up playing instruments, guitars and basses and stuff. So I tried to be a drummer first, and it didn't work out. I wasn't that good, so I just fell back to the family instrument of guitar, man. It was like second nature.
Okay. And did you start playing in church, school bands? How did that all work out for you?
You know what, man? I started playing in church, and it was kind of funny because growing up, I went to my uncle's church, and Mr. Joe Archie here was actually the minister of music and over the choir and everything at that point.
Oh, man. That's how you do it. Raise them up in church and then cherry pick them, huh, Joe?
Yeah, man. You already know.
Yeah, man. So and then Joe had me come in the choir rehearsal. every week and all the rehearsals and practices. And, I wasn't good, and, but he kept telling me to bring my guitar every week, and, I would hang out, and he would teach me chords and, all that type of stuff. And it just allowed me to, be under somebody with true, professionalism, and somebody who, believed in my gift and my talent. And it's because of that I'm here today.
Awesome. And I know that, your gift is extra special because you got some guitar players that are endorsing you. Art is one of my favorite guitar players of all time. This brother, I've been watching him play since we were kids, and I just watched him do some amazing things. So if he gives you the stamp of approval, I know it's real.
Mike is the real deal, man. He's the truth.
Yeah, awesome. That is amazing. So after you started playing in church, man, when do you think, okay, I'm going to take this and I start making this into a recording career?
Man, well, I was about 16, 17 in high school, and again, Mr. Joe Archie, who has been probably one of the most influential people part of my career. I wanted to move from just playing into recording, and Joe, he was the first person to take me to Guitar Center, gave me my first set of software and first computer. And that's kind of how I got introduced into the world of production and writing and recording. And then as far as taking it, from the studio to the stage, again, he had me playing on stage also at 17 and a half, graduated high school, and that was the first time I was able to walk into a club. Couldn't drink nothing, of course. But, Joe gave me my first stage experience as well. So.
Oh man,
that's where it all began.
That's awesome, and you've had this. Obviously, people have heard you, man, because you don't just pack out a place like you did not too long ago without having some exposure. How did you generate awareness about yourself?
Just as I developed my skill, man, I've had the opportunity to play for some major artists, and just having a good rapport with people and, a good skill set. My reputation preceded me, and it allowed me to play with, like, DJ Quick and the Dog Pound, Corrupt, and then on Smooth Jazz side, Jesse J, Michael Linton. So those type of people have, very different audiences.
Yeah.
But that allowed, the different genre audiences to be introduced to me as a guitar player, and a lot of those people come here to Sacramento, and people who knew me, but didn't know I was necessarily a guitar player or musician, in general, were now exposed to my gift and my talent, and that just allowed them to be more intrigued on other stuff that I decided to do. And coming out with this project on my own, I was able to stay in contact with people, and, word of mouth spread, man, and that just led to an incredible CD release and a huge fan base.
That is awesome. And part of being the player that you are is all about the gear. We have Will. He's from SIR. He's gonna ask you a couple of questions.
What's up, Mike? Will James here, buddy. How do you? I know a guitar player's tone is 90% of it is in his hands, but equipment does have something to do with it. What is your equipment, and how do you get your tone?
You know what, man? You're absolutely right. Tone is 90% of it is right in your fingertips, and I actually had to learn that, man, from an incredible, influential person, Mr. Bobby G, who taught me about that, man. And I used to be a Strat player. Now I still have a Strat, but I was dependent upon the tremolo bar a lot. And when it came to tone, Bobby told me, he said, hey, man, you sound great, but, really develop your tone, play some blues, that type of thing. And so as of now, for the past 2 years, I've been nothing but a Kelly and 335 guy. So those two are my weapon of choice at the moment. I have the 60th anniversary Fender Telecaster with Texas special pickups. That is incredible. The wood is great for, all the chicken picking, country tone, and all that kind of stuff. So that's my weapon of choice for that specific tone. And then I have a 1989 ES335 Studio with no F-holes. And, you know, there you go. That's 26 years old. And that right there tells you the tone, the wood of that particular guitar is just amazing, and the notes just resonate like crazy. And as far as my amp selection goes, I have a Fender DeVille, but it's not an actual standard DeVille. It is a USA model, but Fender in 2011, they did a custom October Red 410 DeVille. They did, I want to say, like 300 of those and 65 of the 212s. Mm-hmm. It was a beautiful bright red, and the speakers, I believe the original DeVilles come with like vintage 60 Celestion speakers. This one actually has Eminence red coats, and they're so tight. I like 410s because they have a tighter sound versus the 212, which carry a little more bottom. Sure. I like more of a tight response from my speakers, and you know, so that's my amp. And then as far as my pedals go, I'm pretty straightforward. I don't do a lot of effects too much, but you know, I have just a need for some crunch, a little distortion, and I have a really good relationship over at Jim Dunlap, who take care of me really well. And as far as my distortion and crunch, I have the Super Badass distortion pedal, which is really good for some incredible soloing things. And then I have their 78 distortion, which is a little more thin sounding, more of the vintage style.
Hey, Big Mike, I hate to cut you off, man. That music means that we got a commercial break coming up. Unfortunately, these things are all timed. Hey, folks, stay tuned. We're going to be right back here for the fourth segment of the Changing Stage radio show. My name is Florentino with Art, Will, Joe, Cedric, and Big Mike. We'll be right back.
On the internet, your business's reputation can be unjustly destroyed in an instant. Don't wait for that to happen. Building and marketing your 5-star reputation can increase your business by as much as 19%. Take control of your reputation and have the 5-star reputation you deserve with Reputation Marketing Solutions by DSI Development. Become the go-to company by visiting 5starrepmarketing.com. The number 5starrepmarketing.com.
I raised $8,000 to build schools for South African children. After realizing how many people go hungry in San Diego, I now volunteer at a food pantry.
I'm spending the next year doing volunteer projects across 3 countries and helping in ways they designate to be the most helpful.
The WorldLink program at the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice recognizes the potential of youth as agents of social change. Learn how you can help youth become a generation of leaders in action at peace.sandiego.edu.
You've heard me bragging about Progressive Medical Center and how they've helped me feel so much healthier. But one thing, Dr. Agoli, that a lot of people come to you with is just unexplained pain. They just can't get any relief. Why can Progressive Medical Center's Pain Management Center help them?
First of all, we have to acknowledge that pain is for real, and you've got acute pain and chronic pain. Here's the problem. That acute pain turns to chronic, which is long-standing, and no one's getting to the root cause. There's several key diagnostic components that help us get to the root of what's causing this pain. Is it inflammation? Once we do a thorough evaluation to get the root cause, determine if it's structural or if it's a metabolic issue. And this way, we put an individualized program for pain management involving correcting the spine, using certain injections when necessary, and we get our patients out of pain quicker, and they stay out of pain because we teach them how to live their life well.
Don't let yourself live in pain any longer. Get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today at progressivemedicalcenter.com.
Progressive Medical, this is your life, live it well.
Are your feet hurting you? I mean, really hurting you so much that you can't come to the fair and enjoy other activities with your friends? If so, you may have plantar fasciitis, a chronic inflammation of the connective tissues in the foot. I'm Holly Halsey. I'm a licensed acupuncturist, and I can help you with your pain. I invite you to visit me at my webpage, AccuSageHouseCalls.com. That's ACUSSAGE, housecalls.com. Find out what pain-free feels like.
Which sandwich is healthy and tasty? Which sandwich can come on bread or in a bowl? Which sandwich comes 51 different ways, so it's always your way? A which sandwich. Stop into our shop in Hazard Center. We're upstairs from the Hazard Center Digiplex. Bring in your movie ticket. We will add a free drink and chips to your sandwich order. Or order online at whichwich.com, and we will have it ready and waiting. WHICH, whichwich.com.
Talk to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to The Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
That's right. It's the fourth and final segment for the day here, the Valentine's Day show. This is the Changing Stage radio show. My name is Florentino, and we are powered by WS Radio Networks, the worldwide leader in internet talk radio, and brought to you by SIR Music Equipment Rental, as well as Pitbull Audio. And if you want to check out and get some really good gear, because we were just talking about that, go to pitbullaudio.com. And also, don't forget to add us on Twitter and Facebook, The Changing Stage, / The Changing Stage on both of those, as well as we also have a website where you can listen to all these shows on demand at thechangstage.com. So we're going to kind of jump right back into it with Big Mike here. Will had one more question that he wanted to ask you.
Yes, Mike. That was great information about the equipment you use. One more, though. What recording artists, when you started playing, were inspiring to you? I know you talked about your family and all the musicians in it, but is there a particular artist that inspired you, or maybe a particular recording that you can turn us and the listeners on to?
Man, James Brown and Prince. Anything James Brown, man. No specific song, just every record. Mm-hmm. Anything Prince, man, just their whole approach to guitar for me was, extremely influential in my playing. I'm a funk guy, and I infuse a lot of that into my smooth jazz. That makes up a huge part of what I do. So those two artists are extremely influential to me, every record.
Right on.
Awesome. That kind of brings up a good subject. Me and Art were talking on our way down to the station here. This industry has changed, right, Art?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
completely different.
And Cedric, you've seen the amazing differences from when we all started out back in the 80s and until now. I'm going to address this to Cedric. What are some of the dynamics that you have had to do to roll with what's going on in this business now, where it's not always clear on how to sell a record?
Well, the thing that I've had to do is to adjust to the environment. There are a lot of guys that have the traditional way of selling music, and they get stuck into that rut, and they don't want to adapt. I mean, the playing field is changing every day. There's a different manner in which, a different strategy, a different web page, a different social network. All of these things are things that you must consider and you must develop as the platform changes. And I think that a lot of things made it more difficult, and some things made it easier. I see the plan. I talked to Jay King the other day, about a few months ago, and he was saying that the playing field is a lot more level now. But in other aspects, because music is so it's much more inexpensive to do, there's too much. There's a glut of music, and most of it is not good. And so, trying to distinguish yourself from the crowd, from the masses, is really what we are up against.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. One of the things that me and Art were talking about earlier, I'm going to address this to you, Joe. We all grew up playing in bands, man. We were like, we play. I mean, Art, did stuff, and I know that you and Art did stuff back in the day. I've known, Bobby G was mentioned. I've known Bobby since we were in kindergarten, and both of our first bands were together, and that doesn't happen now, and I think it's because, how do we get especially like the urban crowd, and Cedric, to you as well, how do we get the market to embrace bands again? Because I think that's where the edge of music is really cut, more so than, a guy with a sequencer and a software, hitting a couple of buttons and throwing some samples in and then throwing something on top of it. Not to diminish that at all, but the innovation usually seems to be cut from the urban market with bands. How do we foster that more in the community?
Well, I think that is a lack of music in the schools. One of my early attorneys told me that the fact that they're taking music out of schools will change the music platform. I think there's not such a respect generally for musicians. The way I grew up at a time when there was music in my school, so I had that appreciation for musicality. And I think that has been removed for a large part. That's just been taken out. So I think it's just I don't know. I couldn't answer the question on how to get people back to that. But I just think we just keep producing the music and have it appeal to a younger generation. I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah, and then too, man, to piggyback off of that, like parents now don't buy their kids instruments. Like they'll buy them a PS3 or PS4. They'll buy them an MPC and a keyboard versus buying them a drum set. You know what I'm saying? Versus investing, $150 in piano lessons or, guitar lessons. And, for us growing up, music was our outlet. So, we didn't have tons of video games and smartphones. Like, we had instruments.
Yeah.
So, and then too, man, if there's, I think presentation is everything. So if you're doing a record or a show, as a musician, bring your A game, because that's what leaves an impression. That's what inspires people, right? Like, we were all inspired from who was in front of us musically, but they all brought their A game. If it was Sly and the Family Stone, or if it was the Yellow Jackets, or if it was Phil Collins or the Police, these guys were, every show, man, it was their A game. Every record, man, it was done right, and it left an impression on us all.
Yeah, I agree. So, Big Mike, you were in that the age group, man, that has kind of seen that diminish of artist focus, when it comes down to musicianship. What are your what are your contemporaries? How did they get started? How did you get? What got you inspired, I guess, to actually pick up a guitar? And what do you think your friends and the people that are in that are in your age group? How do you think they can be more inspired to listen to music that comes from an instrument versus a computer?
Well, man, I think in today's music, man, for my specific generation, I'm kind of on the inside of the music industry decline. When I came into it, I was fortunate enough to be around guys like Joe Archie and Derek Allen and my uncles and stuff, where, those guys knew how to make a marriage between what music was turning into and still keeping the musicality a part of it. And, I come from a close circle of friends who enjoy real music, like my album, it says, Young Man, Old Soul, and the Old Soul is a part of, the past music that was the foundation. And, I think people, they're looking for something with substance, and the music of sampling, programmable drums and stuff, there's no emotion behind it. And I find that, if you look at the records that are out at the current moment, they're not lasting like the records of Earth, Wind & Fire or James Brown or Aretha Franklin. You know what I mean? Those records are timeless. And, you can hear a record today that you're going to forget next week because there was nothing behind it. There's no substance. And I'm finding that people are starting to revert back to what, used to be. I mean, think about...
Oh, man. I hate to cut you off there, man. That's that music again, brother. I'd like to thank everybody. We got to bring you back again. You guys, as the album drops, got to bring you back. Changing Stage Radio Show, Florentino, thank you. Art Griffith, Will James, Cedric Singleton, thank you, brother. Joe Archie and Big Mike, thank you all. Thanks to Pitbull Audio and SIR. We'll be next week.
Progressive Medical.
Hey, this is Heidi Rue, and Progressive Medical Center has literally changed my life and my health, but I'm not the only one. Adele suffered from bone deterioration, bone overgrowth, profound muscle discomfort, physical exhaustion, and mental fog. In fact, the bone deterioration becomes so serious that she had to have back surgery. Well, after the surgery, she still didn't feel well, and so that's when she heard about Progressive Medical Center. Progressive Medical Center discovered that her adrenals weren't working properly, her hormones were out of whack, and the drugs she had been taking were doing more harm than good. Adele came into Progressive Medical Center in a walker, physically and mentally exhausted. But now she's a world traveler. She hikes and walks several miles a day, and it's all thanks to Progressive Medical Center. 770-676-6000. 770-676-6000.
Progressive Medical. This is your life. Live it well.
Take a break from politics. Tune in and learn something. WS Radio shows are worth your time and are filled with tips and advice. Add us to your lunch routine, and we'll give you a meal for your mind.
Hey, do you want a great price on a new or used car? Hi, this is professional racing driver Don Swanson, and I know a thing or two about cars. I'm talking about Military Auto Center, San Diego's original and only automotive warehouse, where low overhead means low prices on your next vehicle. Stop by and experience a friendly and casual way to discuss your car needs. They're located conveniently at 9323 Activity Road. You can call them at 858-831-7887 or online at militaryautocenter.com. We'll see you there.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, VinVillage.com, where wine lovers connect. Be sure to tune in weekly to Vin Village Radio for exclusive, in-depth interviews with the who's who in wine and food.